Because that was 10,000 days in hardcore Minecraft. But where is the death screen? Why didn't you show the death screen? We never got to see the death screen, though. He never showed the death screen. Show the death screen. Death screen, death screen, death screen. All anybody wants to see is the death screen. So today, ladies and gentlemen, it is time that I, SB737, reveal the truth about my hardcore world. It began like every other video on my channel. I started a world, I survived for 100 days, and I hoped that the video would do well. And boy, did it do well. We did 200 days, 300 days, 400 days, they just kept going. Until 4 years later, on day 10,000, I destroyed it all and jumped into the void. Which brings us back to this point. How am I stood here? What really happened? What actually happened on the day that I jumped into the void? And why? Why did I do it? Why has it come to this? What on earth is going on? As a side point, I should probably put my armor on. Don't want to die now. And I guess we should begin with how. How am I in my world here, running around, alive and well? You all saw me fall into the void with no items and no elytra. Well, the truth is, and you've got to understand that I had good reason for doing this. The truth is, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I am not leaving. The show goes on. This is my home, and they're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of it. Okay, you know what? We'll stop with that reference. But yeah, it's true. A nuke wasn't enough to stop me. The show goes on. That's why there's no death screen. That's why it fades to black at just the right moment. At the exact point where the final tick of damage should have occurred. Day 10,000 was not the end, and my hardcore world is not over. So I'm going to show exactly what happened, and I'm going to show exactly how I did it. And to do that, we need to go where the void jump occurred. That includes the exact spot where I threw my items in the void, and the exact block that I ran forwards from as I fell into the void. I've also just remembered that I did sadly throw my elytra away. So I am going to need to grab another pair of those. I did used to keep some in my house, in my bedroom, but I believe, yeah, I think they've been blown up. But thankfully, I do have a few pairs in my treasure room that seem to have survived the blast. I'll also grab paper and gunpowder to make some rockets. Good thing my chest room survived the blast, isn't it? And you know what? Let's take a couple... Okay. Long story short, I haven't got a salt touch pickaxe. So I guess I won't be taking any ender chest with me. Let's worry about that later. The priority right now is to get to the end. And whilst we head over there, I want to talk about why. Why would I do all of this? Why would I fake my death? Why would I pretend to end my most successful series and then do nothing for 5 months, only to come back now? And I'll be honest, guys, the answer is, I wanted a break. I wanted a break from the world and the series. Every week, all I'd do was play on this world. And sometimes I'd do projects and videos that I really, really enjoyed. And sometimes I'd just be playing for the sake of it. I'd just be playing on my hardcore world because I had to make a video on it. And that's just what I had to do. Let's also jump on through this portal. But yeah, on day 10,000... I knew the truth. I knew that I hadn't died, and you guys obviously didn't know. But I also didn't know if the series had actually ended. I didn't know if I was ever going to come back. Like, I literally didn't know if I was ever going to play the world again. I hadn't really made that decision at the time, but I wanted to give myself the choice for both, really. If I wanted to end it there forever, I could, and if I wanted to continue it, I could also do that. And as you can tell right now, I've decided I'm ready to come back to this world. Anyway, I actually can't remember which pillar it is. Was it one of these over here? I think it's right here. Does this give you guys PTSD if I stand right here and walk forward? How many times have you watched that? Anyway, this time... Oh, well, we just took fall damage. I should really get a totem. Anyway, the first thing I did right here was throw my items into the void. And they did actually go into the void and out of the world. They're lost forever. There's no way to get them back. I did actually chuck them. Then I stood on this bedrock here, gave a bit of a speech saying how great the world is, thank you everybody, da-da-da-da-da. Showed that my inventory was empty, and then I walked forward. You guys remember the score. I had no elytron, I fell into the void. There was absolutely no way back up. At least that's what I wanted you to think, because this obsidian pillar Yeah, it's not just a normal obsidian pillar. No, I had to hide it perfectly, but there's a contraption inside, which I'd fine-tuned to perfection to make sure that I definitely didn't die. But I had to make it so that I would get as close to death as possible so that people would think it was real and that I fell into the void. So, this time there's not going to be any cuts. There's going to be no fade to black. This is exactly what happened as I jumped into the void. There's going to be no do-overs. So the first thing I want you to notice is that I kept my armor on. I threw everything else away, but I kept my armor on, which was a critical part of the plan. If I didn't do that, this 100% would not have worked. Next, I stood on this bedrock block, and I had to stand on this exact block because whilst to the viewer, it looked like I was standing on it as a bit of a podium, I was using this to perfectly line up my player because the contraption inside the pillar needed very, very specific timings and positionings, otherwise I would die. And then I do my final speech, and I know that this speech is going to be extremely iconic, like these are my parting words to series, so I'm concentrating on trying to say the right thing, but I'm also fully focused on lining my player up so I'm looking in the right direction. And I'm concentrating on the fact that I'd set it up so that all I have to do is hold down forwards. There was no sprinting, no jumping, nothing else required. And in the back of my head at this point, I'm hoping and hoping that the machine works. I'm kind of trying to think, but I'm also thinking, well, if this doesn't work, it's actually going to be over. And I can't even look at the screen. I'm having to look at the camera. It's honestly, it was a bit of a nerve-wracking experience. But yeah, I recorded a replay of the whole thing. I walked forwards, and as I walked past the skulk sensor, which was calibrated to only activate if I walk past a certain position. But yeah, as it detected me, a load of redstone repeaters delayed the signal, and slowly but surely, it ticked along, and the moment my player hit half a heart, an ender pearl stasis chamber was activated, teleporting me back, and I would have died if I wasn't wearing armor, which is why the Feather Falling 4 saved my life. And I was alive and well. From my POV, this is exactly how it looked. And then I had to somehow get out of that obsidian box with no items and get back to my house without dying. So what you're about to see is my very first time playing on my hardcore world in 5 months. This is a bit of a blast from the past, isn't it? Let's go ahead and load it up. And at this point, you knew how I did it. I can only apologize. But I did have my reasons. I can't even remember if I left myself anything in here. An ender chest at the very least would have been helpful. I think I'm going to have to mine out with my fist. Yep. There's no other way. It's probably going to be day 11,000 by the time I get out of here. We broke one. Okay. I don't even think there's anything useful up here. That's another one done. I was hoping that this wouldn't be a double thick wall. There we go. I can see the outside. I would use that trapdoor to crawl through, but I think it'll break if I mine it with my fist. So it's back to work, and whilst I mine at this obsidian, the bedrock download to my hardcore world is coming out on Tuesday. People keep asking for it, so yeah. Tuesday is the day. It also turns out that it only takes 4 minutes and 10 seconds to break obsidian, so we're out. I think I can make this jump. It'd be pretty awkward if I die trying. I think I'm going to go for that obsidian platform. We've got to do a head hit, or otherwise we're just going to miss it. I do have Feather Falling 4, so what could go wrong? Here we go. All right, well, I missed the jump, but we were fine. Yeah, Feather Falling is OP. And now the next question is, where does this portal take me? Is it going to take me back to spawn? Here we go. We're here. We're back. We're stuck at the top again. Are you kidding me? All I need is to safely get home. I'll definitely die if I miss this jump, but I see no reason why I can't land in water, so let's do that. We made it down. Got a million ender pearl stasis chambers loading all the chunks. Now to go down here. This feels really weird, guys. It's been like 5 months. Part of me can't really believe I'm back, but this is really... Oh, wait, we've got an ender chest. I put my chest plate in my ender chest. Oh, that's brilliant. I thought I'd got rid of it. Okay, well, that's very, very good news. I also have a load of pork chop. Oh, I kept a lot of stuff in here. Okay, you know what? I've been smart. I lost my good pickaxe. I threw that in the void. But my goodness. My goodness me. Wait, I just heard a fox. How have I just heard a fox? What on earth are you doing in the nether? This is no place for you. You know what? This is not a rescue mission. I've got to get my cell phone safe and sound before anything else. I mean, I don't see what can go wrong at this point. I'm in a safe corridor. I'm very glad that I built this many, many days ago. Actually, I built this years ago. There's the hub. Oh, we're so close, guys. I don't know why there's a random hole here. Don't know what's been going on there. But here we go. The portal to get back to my home. And we're in. We've arrived My goodness, it's not changed a bit. It looks absolutely beautiful. There's definitely a lot of broken stuff, but I've made it back. Ladies and gentlemen, home sweet home. And that brings us back to now. Now, what happens next? Well, I am going to continue the world, but I'm not going to post a video on this channel of every single project that I do. Because I'm also going to spend time live streaming the world on Twitch, and I'm going to sometimes post videos of the world on SB737 Plus as well. That means I can still do big projects, but I can also do smaller things that I'll enjoy as well. And on that note, guys, I'm also live on Twitch right now, playing my hardcore world, so come and watch as I repair everything and bring this world back to its former glory. I've also decided that I'm going to be adding the Blazing Caves advancement pack. I think it'll just give me so many more things to do. And I'm also going to let myself use waypoints, just because it's going to make finding my way around the world much easier. There will still be a day counter, but I'm going to focus less on the days and more on just playing the world. I'm very excited for this. I hope you guys are too. And that was 10,006 days in hardcore Minecraft.